Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. I'm Jennifer, and as always, I'm joined by my fantastic co-host, Elizabeth. How are you doing today, Elizabeth?
I'm doing great, thanks. Today's topic is one that's especially relevant in our information-rich world, whether you'd rather use the internet or books as your main source of information. With the internet offering instant access to virtually any topic and books providing in-depth knowledge, it's an interesting debate about which is better for learning and personal growth. We'll be discussing the strengths and weaknesses of both and what role they play in our lives today.
Absolutely. This is a topic that really gets to the heart of how we consume and process information. On one hand, the internet offers convenience, speed, and a vast array of perspectives, while books offer depth, detail, and a more curated form of knowledge. We're going to dive into the pros and cons of each and see if we can come to a conclusion about which one might be better, or if they both have their own unique strengths.
And before we get started, I just want to remind everyone to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. We're here to explore life's big questions and offer thoughtful discussions on a variety of fascinating topics.
And if you're enjoying our content, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Your support really helps us continue to create these videos for you.
So, Jennifer, let's start by talking about the internet. The internet has revolutionized the way we access information. With just a few clicks, we can find answers to almost any question, read news from around the world, and access resources on any topic imaginable. What do you think are the main advantages of using the internet as your primary source of information?
That's a great place to start. The internet's biggest advantage is definitely its accessibility. No matter where you are or what time it is, you can access a vast amount of information instantly. This makes it incredibly convenient for quick research or finding up-to-date information on current events. The internet also offers a diversity of perspectives. You can find information from experts, enthusiasts, and even from people living in different parts of the world. This variety can help you get a well-rounded understanding of a topic.
Absolutely. The speed and breadth of information available on the internet are unparalleled. It's also interactive, which can make learning more engaging. For example, if you're trying to learn a new skill, you can find tutorials, videos, and forums where you can ask questions and get feedback from others. The internet also allows for continuous updates, so you're always getting the latest information, which is particularly useful for fast-changing fields like technology or medicine.
Yes, and that's one of the reasons why the internet is such a powerful tool. It's also very democratic in the sense that it gives everyone a platform to share their knowledge and ideas. However, this can also be a downside because not all the information on the internet is accurate or reliable. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and it can be difficult to sift through everything to find credible sources.
That's a really important point. The sheer volume of information on the internet can be overwhelming, and with so much content, it can be hard to determine what's trustworthy. Unlike books, which go through a rigorous editing and publishing process, almost anyone can post anything online, which means that the quality and reliability of the information can vary greatly. This is why it's so important to develop good research skills and to be critical of the sources you're using online.
Definitely. The ability to evaluate the credibility of sources is key when using the internet as your main source of information. It's also worth mentioning that while the internet provides a lot of information quickly, it doesn't always offer the depth and nuance that books do. Online articles and posts are often designed to be short and easily digestible, which can be great for getting a quick overview. But sometimes you need to dive deeper to fully understand a complex topic.
That's where books really shine. Books, especially those written by experts in the field, offer a level of depth and detail that you often can't get from a quick internet search. They allow the author to fully explore a topic, providing context, analysis, and supporting evidence. When you're reading a book, you're engaging with a carefully crafted narrative or argument that's been thought through and refined over time.
Exactly.
Books also encourage a different kind of learning. Because they require more time and focus, reading a book can lead to a deeper understanding of the material. You're not just skimming the surface, you're really immersing yourself in the subject. This can be especially valuable for topics that require critical thinking or that benefit from a more comprehensive approach.
Yes, and there's also something to be said for the physical experience of reading a book. There's a certain satisfaction in holding a book in your hands, turning the pages, and seeing your progress as you move through it. It's a more deliberate, focused experience compared to the quick, sometimes fragmented way we consume information online.
Absolutely. Books also provide a break from the constant connectivity of the internet. When you're reading a book, you're not being distracted by notifications, ads, or the temptation to click on another link. It's a more immersive and concentrated experience, which can be really refreshing in our always connected world.
That's so true. And while books are often seen as more reliable sources of information, it's also important to remember that they're not infallible. Books can become outdated, especially in fast-moving fields like science and technology. They also reflect the views and biases of their authors, so it's still important to approach them with a critical eye, just as you would with information from the internet.
Definitely. And that's why it's often best to use a combination of both the internet and books when researching a topic. The internet can provide you with up-to-date information and a variety of perspectives, while books can offer deeper insights and a more structured approach to learning. By using both, you can get a more comprehensive understanding of the subject.
Exactly. It's not about choosing one over the other, but about knowing when and how to use each resource effectively. The internet is great for quick answers, staying current, and exploring a wide range of views, while books are invaluable for in-depth study, gaining a deeper understanding, and engaging with well-developed arguments.
Yes, and that brings us to the question of how our learning habits have evolved with the rise of the internet. In the past, books were the primary source of knowledge for most people. But now, with the internet at our fingertips, our approach to learning has changed. We often turn to the internet first, sometimes even before considering books. How do you think this shift has impacted the way we learn?
That's a great question. The internet has certainly made learning more accessible and immediate, which is a huge benefit. But I think it's also led to a more fragmented approach to learning. We often jump from one source to another, skimming the surface of many topics without really diving deep into any of them. This can make it harder to develop a deep understanding of a subject or to retain what we've learned.
That's a good point. The internet encourages a more fast-paced, multitasking approach to learning, which can sometimes be at odds with the deeper, more reflective learning that books encourage. It's easy to get distracted online, and that can make it harder to focus and really absorb the material. On the other hand, the internet has also opened up new ways of learning, like interactive tutorials, online courses, and educational videos, which can be really effective for certain types of learners.
Absolutely. The internet has made learning more interactive and accessible, which is a huge advantage, especially for people who might not have easy access to books or traditional education. It's also made it easier to learn new skills, stay updated on current events, and connect with others who share your interests. Key is finding a balance, using the internet for what it's good at, while also taking the time to engage with more in-depth resources like books when needed.
Exactly. And while we're discussing the pros and cons of the internet and books as sources of information, let's take a call from one of our listeners who wants to share their thoughts on this topic. Let's take the call. Hi there, you're on the air with Jennifer and Elizabeth. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Elizabeth. My name is Emma, and I'm calling from Boston, USA. I've been following your channel for a while, and I really enjoy your discussions. This topic about whether to use the internet or books as your main source of information is something I've thought about a lot, and I wanted to share my perspective.
Hi, Emma. Thanks for calling in. We're so glad to have you on the show. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you prefer to use the internet or books as your main source of information, and why?
Well, I think it really depends on what I'm trying to learn. For quick information or when I'm trying to stay updated on current events, I usually turn to the internet. It's just so convenient, and I can find what I need in seconds. But when I really want to dive deep into a topic, I prefer books. There's something about the way a book is structured that helps me understand and retain the information better. I also find that reading a book is a more focused and calming experience, which helps me absorb the material more effectively.
That's a great perspective, Emma. It sounds like you've found a good balance between using the internet and books, depending on your needs. Do you think one is more reliable than the other, or do do you trust them equally?
I definitely think books are more reliable, especially for in-depth information. With books, you know that the author has taken the time to research the topic and that the information has gone through an editorial process. With the internet, you have to be more careful because anyone can post anything online, and it's not always easy to tell what's accurate. That's why I try to use reputable sources when I'm looking up information online, and I turn to books when I need something more comprehensive.
That's such an important point, Emma. The reliability of the information is crucial, and it's great that you're mindful of where your information is coming from. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you both. I really enjoyed the discussion. Keep up the great work with the podcast.
Thanks, Emma. We appreciate your support. Take care.
Bye, Emma.
That was such a thoughtful call. Emma's perspective really highlights the importance of using both the internet and books effectively, depending on what you're trying to learn.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that while the internet offers incredible convenience and a wide range of information, books provide depth, reliability, and a more focused learning experience. By combining both, we can take advantage of the strengths of each and create a more well-rounded approach to learning.
Definitely. And as we think about the future, it's likely that both books and the internet will continue to play important roles in how we access and process information. The key is to be intentional about how we use these resources, making sure we're not just consuming information passively, but really engaging with it and thinking critically.
Exactly. It's about developing good research habits, whether you're using the internet or books, and being mindful of the quality and credibility of the sources you're relying on. In a world where we're constantly bombarded with information, it's more important than ever to be discerning and thoughtful in how we approach learning.
Yes, and while the internet has made information more accessible than ever, it's important to remember that not everything online is reliable or accurate. Books, on the other hand, offer a more curated and thoughtful approach to learning. By combining the best of both worlds, we can ensure that we're getting the most out of our learning experiences.
Absolutely. And for our viewers, if you're enjoying this conversation and finding these reflections on the internet and books as sources of information thought-provoking, make sure to like the video and share it with others. Your support really helps us continue to create content that explores life's big questions.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We've got plenty more videos coming your way, covering everything from the future of education to the impact of technology on our lives and beyond.
So before we wrap up, let's do a quick recap of today's discussion. We explored the question of whether you'd rather use the internet or books as your main source of information, looking at the strengths and weaknesses of both and how they complement each other in the learning process.
We also heard from one of our listeners about how they use both the internet and books depending on their needs, and the importance of being mindful of the quality and reliability of the information we consume. It's a reminder that while the internet offers incredible convenience, books provide depth and reliability that are just as important.
Remember, learning is a lifelong journey, and the tools we use to learn are just as important as the information itself. By combining the best of the internet and books, we can create a more balanced, effective, and fulfilling approach to education and personal growth.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Keep exploring, keep learning, and remember that the best source of information is the one that helps you grow. You've got this.
We'll see you in the next video. Take care and keep questioning and exploring the world around you.
Bye for now.